Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Force here. It is time once again for some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today we're going to be watching a series of games between E.G. DeMusliM and Empire viOLet. viOLet, our red Zerg player, spawning down here in the 6 o'clock spawn location, and DeMusliM, the blue Terran player, spawning in the 9 o'clock spawn position. We're starting things off here in the map Shatter Temple. Now, I want to let you guys know that this series of games is coming from the most recent IEM, and hopefully, knock on wood, we don't get any cross commentary on this. A lot of times when you've got big tournaments with well-known players that take place, and once those replays become available online, there's several replay sites so most of us pull our replays from, aside from getting them mailed to us directly. But once those are posted online on those replay sites, a lot of times you'll see several commentators commentate the same games. And I know that type of overlap can be frustrating. Keep in mind, it's not like we're always checking every other channel to see if those commentaries take place, and a lot of times, even if we do, that doesn't really help, because I could record these games in the morning, and then at night, before I post them up online, someone else could post them online. I had no way of knowing if they were recording those games during the day. That's just an example, though, but that type of situation does happen. And I'm just bringing this up because sometimes there will be kind of overlap in games that get commentated, and when that happens, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, there's not much of a way to avoid it. It is kind of a crappy situation, but anywho, enough jibba-jabba. Let's take a look here. DeMusliM opening up with that Rax and no gas yet. Gotta keep an eye on that. You can see he's saving up a bunch of resources, no gas, and there is a second Rax in production. Right over here, DeMusliM opening up with some 2 Rax aggression. Now, at the moment, viOLet's got to be a little suspicious as to what's going on here. Yes, he has seen no refinery, and you might assume, okay, well, he must be assuming right now that it's going to be a 1 Rax expand. But with that, by now, you can afford that second supply depot and wall in that drone. And there's really no reason for DeMusliM not to do with that. And the fact that he didn't get that second supply depot earlier, you know, when you don't get a refinery, that means you've got extra resources to get that second supply depot quicker. The fact that that didn't happen is tipping viOLet off that something else is going on, and he is looking right now for a proxy Rax, and he is getting ever so close. Oh no, what are you doing? Pull back. There it is. He finds the proxied barracks here, and now he knows that he's going to be dealing with some early game marine and bunker pressure. At least that's the plan here for DeMusliM. Not sure if that is going to change, given that he has been spotted. That first marine in production right now. We got SCV pulling forward. He's going to spot 6 lings here, and that is a major, major concern for him. Now that Rax is about to get engaged by those lings, and obviously viOLet's going to try to prevent this from happening. Engaging the Rax, forcing the liftoff, and there you go. So DeMusliM's planned early game aggression has been thwarted there. viOLet, great scouting. Again, he was looking for that for the reason I mentioned. If you don't get a refinery, you have extra resources. That means you can get that second supply depot earlier than you would if you were to go depot Rax refinery. That second supply depot, you can afford it earlier, and there's no reason not to build that and wall off that drone and keep him in your base for a free kill. But since the drone moved up here, he spotted that there was no second supply depot. He knows, all right, DeMusliM has extra resources. They're going to be somewhere. And immediately the thought is, let me look for another Rax. That's what he did, and great job there. Great awareness by viOLet in spotting that. Absolute phenomenal play there. I'm pretty impressed, Now, I do want to make mention of the fact that if you notice in the production tab, while all this was taking place, there was a Roach Warren. It does look like viOLet has canceled that, though, deciding not to go out with the Roaches that he had planned to defend that 2 Rax aggression, assuming, basically, that while that was building and he moved out with the links and spotted that marine and bunker pressure wasn't coming, just cancel off the Roach Warren. Because you don't need the only reason he would have needed that Roach Warren is if he was dealing with those marine bunker pressures. And he decided not to get that because it, in fact, was not coming. Now you can see viOLet dealing with that Rax landed as natural expansion. Instead of waiting for that forced liftoff, decided to just come out and build that first expansion over here at this position. And again, instead of waiting for that Rax to get force lifted off, he just wanted to get that down as soon as possible. Now this, of course, is going to be a much more vulnerable position, so viOLet is going to need to take extra care to be able to defend that. Back over here for DeMusliM, we got 2 refineries up and saturated. He's coming out with a factory over here. Given the fact that he's got 2 fully saturated refineries, though, we're probably going to see either a starport or a second factory sometime very soon. DeMusliM also with that expansion now finished. He's going to actually be working to saturate this a little more before he pulls out with that. We're going to see a hot swap right here, and with that, going to be seeing some double Hellion action early on, going for those mass Hellions, allowing him to get some map control. Marines Gonna try to kill off that Overlord before he can scout that factory. Is he gonna get it? Yes, he does. Stops him from scouting the factory. However, Ling's pulling up the front, scout it, and now he knows. All right, Hellions are coming, so I must prepare to deal with it. He actually came out with a quick third over here at his natural expansion. And getting a very fast third, that's going to be a little risky against this Hellion opening here. Especially, I'm so concerned about this position. It's so far away from the main and the natural. It is going to be quite difficult for him to defend this. He is going to need at least one Spine Crawler here, or else he is going to have a huge problem. And there you go, actually, Spine Crawler coming down right now for viOLet to try to defend himself. First 2 Hellions out. We got another 2 coming on through. 2 factories being built, and look at that. Given the fact that he was so gas heavy, I was like, there's got to be some more techiness coming on here, and there in fact is. Going to be going a mech heavy style of play here for DeMusliM early on. We also have a starport coming on through as well. Hellions continuing to churn their way on through. The first 4 on the map now heading their way towards that center Zelnaga Tower. Will be taking map control. Let's see if he decides to go and check for that third. I don't think, yes, he does not know about that yet, but he will be checking it just in one moment as he pulls on in, walks onto the creep and says, drones, how you doing today? Roasting some drones right now. Going to be getting a few free kills. Spinecrawler just finishes. We got a few Lings over here to help. That's not quite enough though. 10 more Lings coming on through, and once that is in play, he should be able to try to overwhelm this. Otherwise, he cannot mine right now. He's got no chance to mine at this point with those Hellions back there. But at the same time, he's in a position where those Hellions are kind of trapped, buying him time to get those extra Zergling reinforcements and then push on forward. And here we go right now. We're going to be engaging those Hellions, trapping them in the corner. Beautiful play there by viOLet. Takes out the rest of those Hellions and proceeds to mine here at the third. Natural expansion still not even saturated. He would have liked to drone up there, but was forced to come out with all these extra Lings because of that Hellion opening. You can see right now we've got that Infernal Pre-Igniter coming on through. We also do have a Medevac just finishing, so we could be seeing a drop sometime soon. Hellions pushing across the map. That blue flame research will be done momentarily. These Lings need to be a little careful. That's a few too many Hellions for them to handle. That Ling gets taken out. We do have some upgrades coming on through here for viOLet melee attack level 1, also massing up some more Lings as he's forced to do so, dealing with all this aggression that is coming on through. We do also have a medevac drop coming on over here. That's going to be dropping in the main. Blue Flame Hellions gets surrounded by the Lings, pinned in the corner, allowing that Queen to come up and engage as well. We do have this drop going on over here. DeMusliM will be hitting that main resource line. Excellent responsiveness there by viOLet as he pulls off the second that those get there, really preventing what could have been a much, much heftier loss. He's only lost 7 workers so far. We got a Queen pulling on down to engage. Couple of Lings as well. Drones pushing forward. Need to be careful. He gets a ton of drones roasted there. Took him from 7 to 17 workers lost so far this game. viOLet pulling that spine a little bit closer, trying to defend that resource line. Continuous harass here from DeMusliM. He is going just massive amounts of Hellions this time. Look at that. I don't know why I'm saying this time. This is the first game in the series. He's going mass Hellions, and this is unbelievable, the amount of harass that he is doing. 26 workers killed. That number is going to get higher and higher as DeMusliM is just being relentless. We still have this medevac over here. However, all those Hellions were taken care of, so he's going to need to grab some more if he hopes to continue that harass in the main. Pulling on back here with the medevac. We got more Hellions heading towards that third. Still just with Speedlings, that is it. Just about finished that level 1 melee attack. Trying to cut off some reinforcements. The rest of the Hellions push back to assist. That was quick and easy work, like a hot knife through butter. Is that what they say? I think so. Hellions destroying viOLet this game. Just absolutely destroying him. Speedlings and drones don't stand much of a chance unless he can get a full surround. And here we go. The Hellions are back in action, killing off more workers. 32 workers killed now. 32 workers killed, and that's going to get higher. 37 keeps on climbing. These Hellions, the bane of viOLet this game. viOLet now deciding to come out with a Roach Warren. He says, you know what, I just cannot deal with this mass amount of Hellions. Keep in mind, though, at the moment, DeMusliM has nothing but Hellions. He is starting to make a transition into tanks, but so far this game, he's got nothing but Hellions at all. Man, those Hellions are doing work, son. Doing work indeed. 39 workers killed. Resources lost. Obviously, DeMusliM has lost quite a few resources as he's, sacked most of those Hellions, but he's still in an advantage in terms of resources lost. And on top of that, all those workers killed is really, really killing viOLet's economy. viOLet is pretty crippled right now in terms of that income. Gonna be seeing a transition into Thors as well. More Hellions pushing in. This is ridiculous. Getting worked this game by these Hellions. DeMusliM being so efficient with these. My gosh. This is really rough to watch. This is really, really rough to watch. It's certainly not viOLet's best showing. You know, early on we saw some impressive play, but he has been having a very difficult time. Now that he's finally got roaches, he can fend these off, but that transition right now into tanks and Thors is going to set up DeMusliM in a prime position, and I really don't see at this point how he's going to have any difficulty bringing this victory home. He has dealt with no counter-aggression at all from viOLet. viOLet has been way too busy defending himself, building just enough Zerglings to try to kill off those Hellions, and then after losing so many workers, he's now forced to drone up. I mean, he's droning right now. Trust me, he does not want to be building drones right now. He would love to be building more units to fend off these Hellions and the subsequent push that's going to come right after that. This Thor tank Hellion push is going to follow up. More Hellions pushing on into the third. Oh, man. If you're not face-palming at home, you should be. Because this is ridiculous. 58 workers killed. viOLet's only killed off 36 units. 117 units have been killed for DeMusliM. Yep, it's not looking good. If you're wondering, if you're sitting there and you're like, Force, is it looking good for viOLet? The answer to that question is no, my friends. It is not looking good at all. We'll be trying to block any Hellions from going to the main there with those roaches on that ramp. His main is still vulnerable, of course, from a drop, and we have, again, more Hellions. Spreading the creep, he's going to allow him to spot those Hellions a little bit earlier. It's nothing doing, though, as the Hellions push in and just get some more free worker kills. I am not sure about viOLet this game. I promise you he's a strong player. He is a good player, and hopefully at future games in this series we get to see evidence of that. But this game, it's looking pretty embarrassing, and it's obviously an incredibly frustrating situation for viOLet. I'm surprised he isn't just GGing, honestly. I mean, yes, he's killed off a lot of Hellions, and you can see, of course, DeMuslim's lost a lot. But look at this massive push about to come across the map with 64 workers killed right now. Massive, massive push. We're going to see a Hellion drop in the main, and then this beast of a push moving across towards that natural expansion. Now we'll be seeing an attempted roach counterattack. Get a little bit of a wall off over here that's going to delay that a bit. Those roaches are going to pull their way right into the natural, looks like. But look at this there. viOLet's dealing with just a massive push over here. He's got Hellions in his main. That quickly gets taken care of there by those roaches as well as that queen. You really can't deal with this. He is supply blocked right now, losing a ton of overlords, and DeMusliM rolling forward and just obliterating this hatchery. Thors are beasts at taking out buildings, as is evidenced there. Roach is doing a little bit of damage over here, but it doesn't matter. This game is in the bag for DeMusliM. Very impressive game number one here for DeMusliM. I can't see how he's about to lose this. Forced to lift off over here, but he's got two Thors popping out. He's also got a couple tanks about to come through, and that's going to be enough to deal with these roaches. And pulling on forward with his roaches, trying to engage DeMuslim's mech army here. GG, well played, real devil, says viOLet. That is game number one, my friends. Oh boy. Although game number one was completely one-sided, don't let that fool you. viOLet is a strong player. This certainly, however, was not his best game, as he gets completely worked by DeMusliM. Blue Flame Hellion Harass followed up by an incredibly strong Thor push with some SCVs repairing. Almost unstoppable at this point in the game for viOLet. Alright guys, that was game number one. We'll be moving on to game number two, and of course, fingers crossed that we will be seeing a much more, I don't know what the word for it is going to be, maybe a much more entertaining or a much more balanced matchup. Whatever, we'll see. Game number two coming right up, guys. Stay tuned.